Before I start this video, I would just like to say that I do actually enjoy Sea of Thieves. It is very fun, especially with a friend, and I do suggest that you play it if you have not already. Alright, so, Sea of Thieves. It's a great game in certain aspects, and I thoroughly enjoy it when I'm not being finessed skeletons, or stuck in a death loop by a group of sweaty monkeys hurling firebombs at my deck and dropping the anchor every time I'm not looking. But video isn't about regular Sea of Thieves. It's about the elephant in the room. The large, deformed elephant in the room. Yes, I'm talking about the free new story expansion to the Sea of Somali Pirates. Recently, this game started a new season and added some features into the game to make it more like a journey. In addition to these, a new thing called Tall Tales was put into the game to spark the interest of players once again. And some people revisited the servers, bringing new life into the game. Not to mention the countless amount of kids who realized you could scream racial slurs at the enemy ship when you filled them with holes, while they were trying to complete a quest that was very, very long. Yes, this has happened to me, and I'm very jaded about it. So what? But this review isn't about me. We're going to be looking at the Pirates of the Caribbean story expansion. Now I know what you're thinking. That's groundbreaking. My god, they really got my boy Johnny Depp into the game. And yes, they did. However, its execution is less than ideal. Now just a disclaimer before I talk about this more. I have not played fully through the story just at the moment, but from my current experiences with it, I'm going to need years of remediary therapy to fix my trust issues that this experience has given me. While I don't want to dwell on its shortcomings too much, I'm going to dwell on its shortcomings too much. There's not even a good point to it. The story is literally only there to enjoy listening to Johnny Depp talk. And even that gets stale after a couple of minutes. Let's talk about some basics first. Sea of Thieves doesn't have much flavor in the way of combat. While boat fights are exhilarating, the moment you get on the combat with land, it becomes a quick dance of rock, paper, scissors, shotgun. With rock being your sword, paper your pistol, scissors being your sniper, and your coverall being shotgun that rounds out the competition. Seriously, anything. Just PvP shotgun. That's all I have to say. By balancing the game and choosing a loadout that's made from two similarly damaging guns, and a melee weapon and a shotgun that is yet to fail me, there's really no incentive to pick anything other than a double shotgun approach to the game. For PvP, that is. While you might not always be PvP, PvP does make up the most engaging part of the game. Hitting a skeleton with a sword 7 times until he dies or backs away, eats a banana, and then repeating isn't as fun. Well, the game's not always about PvP. You spend most of your time engaging in that part if you want to be able to complete the longevity of the game. Unless you're Australian like me, then it makes up the most laggy part of the game, and you end up stapling your nerves as not to shoot the after image of a man living happily in a country that doesn't consist of an entire black spot. Needless to say, I'm not a PvP expert. My KD is something to laugh at, mostly because the servers are so thinly populated that I'm pretty sure I'm always fighting the same 3 people over and over again. Why do they keep picking Reaper's Guild and sinking my ship? But enough about PvP. PvP isn't the entirety of this, and in fact it has absolutely nothing to do with this new story expansion. Because of the simplicity of the combat with your AI, you're forced to diversify the way you play the game with people and with AI. And before you start a tense fight with a player, first you must replace your loadout, get your ship ready, load everything up, get ready for the time of your life, and then inject heroin into your veins so you can possibly comprehend whatever type of movement tech they are pulling off. While fighting an AI, it's a bit different. Most of the time while fighting an AI, it is, oh, I should swing my sword to kill him. Ouch, that hurt, time to backpedal. Oh, He has a bomb. Better use range. Finally, the last stage of PvP. Thank God, they're all dead. Isn't it unfortunate that their screams still fill my mind at night? This really puts a bad perspective on the Pirate's Life DLC. From mind-numbing combat to indefinitely spawning enemies just makes me feel like I'm playing a game not designed to be enjoyed. And that's not the case at all. I really enjoy the base game. The Tall Tales normally are fun. They're a mix of puzzles and things that you need to solve, and then you don't usually get guidance apart from the start to begin. However, these Tall Tales are not like that. Half of the time you're standing around like a frontal lobotomite listening to someone talk or attempting to finish a small puzzle that is repeated over the entire course of the Tall Tale and repeated over the entire course of the Tall Tale and repeated over the entire course of the Tall Tale. And the other half of your time is made up being completely confused, having absolutely no idea what you actually need to do, and wandering around in circles for 5 to 6 minutes waiting for the answer to just pop up in front of you. That could just be me being terrible at video games, but this entire journey made me feel like I was supposed to figure out something very vague and complex without actually being told I'm supposed to figure it out. Me and my crew almost failed the second Tall Tale of this mission, of this band of missions, because we walked away after having to listen to a 2-minute long speech where they state who they are, where they are, how good you are, who they were, how good you are, who is Johnny Depp, why is this review so bad, who they are, and then they ask you to give them the quest item that I completely forgot about using and only pulled it out of my inventory to use it one time when the mission stated use it. The most enjoyment I actually got out of the quest was the interaction with other people while I was doing it. We sailed over to this place as an emissary, like we normally do, and while we were halfway through the mission, someone came, sunk our ship, put the anchor down, turned around, did their own stuff, then came down to do the mission as well, only for us to go up at the end of the mission, steal their ship, and sell the loot that we got, and they just had to sit there and lose all of their potential profit because they decided to sink our ship. It's a bit of karma. I really enjoyed doing it. This was my review about the combat system more than it was about the Tall Tales. And if you're wondering why that is so, it's because the story is so bland and empty that I'd rather gripe about something that I'm bad at and something else to do with this game and eat chalk than talk about that stupid story. I can't get the sound of the end. God, I can't get the sounds of that crying chest to stop. Why won't it stop crying? Will I ever amount to anything? Who are those people? I hope they tell me why. And why do I even play this game still?